what we're gonna do is just bring you up to date on some of the things that's happening on the property.
Oh,
And
okay.
but we haven't touched bases for a long time, so we're trying to find out how many people know how to link up with this. This is the way we're gonna have to have resident association meetings in the
Okay.
future until we can open up. So we are hoping that we will have other people that will be involved, and
Yeah.
that way you can discuss some of your concerns, and what's going on with you. We want to know what's going on with you. We have a lot, some
Yeah.
volunteers that will be trying to work with a lot of people that are not able to get out, in the near future.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And we also we trying to reach out to our residents as well. It's been a long time since we've seen y'all since the COVID and stuff like that, and we haven't had any meetings on the property here lately. So you all don't know that what's going on with the tenant association and and what's happening with the property, you know. And
Yeah.
we just want you to know that, we as a tenant association as a whole, that we still exist and we're still working in your favor.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll even make
Okay?
that in our favor.
In our favor. Thank you, sis.
Mhm.
Yeah, we haven't gave up the fight. We still fighting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
Oh,
still fighting for us.
okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna wait a little while longer and see if anybody else going, then we're gonna open up.
Okay.
What do you think, Beth or
Um,
Kayla?
whatever you
It's
think.
6:43 now.
So what time you think? Maybe six, uh, 2 more minutes?
I think two
Okay.
more minutes is good. I was actually thinking during this call, and I was like, since Beth is recording it, it may be a good idea to put the recording on the page, the Brookland Manor page, so that way at least whoever wasn't able to attend, they can get the information still.
I think that would be wonderful. That's a great idea.
All right, so you guys can get started whenever you guys are ready.
Okay.
And Cambridge also said that she made a PowerPoint to help people get onto Zoom, which is also a great idea. So we can put that on the website
Yeah.
as well, so
Okay.
people can join in the future.
Okay. So we'll take you want to take the attendance. You can just call out your name just to be, official. I'm Minnie Elliott, president of Resident Association.
I'm
Yvonne.
Cheryl Brunson.
Yvonne Johnson, Vice President.
Cheryl Brunson, the treasurer.
We have Beth, who is our organizer. Which she's new, and that's to you, Mrs. Watts. We know that, but she'll be one of the
Yeah.
organizers that be working with us here on the property. Beth, would you say something?
Yes, I'm excited to be a part of it, and I'm learning on the job, and I love feedback. So if there's a way that I can do better, please let me know. And I also want to introduce Cambridge Giles, who is another volunteer
Is she here? Is
organizing
she?
outreach.
Where's Cambridge? Where is she?
Right here.
Okay,
Hello.
introduce yourself.
Hey,
I'm Cambridge. I'm a
I saw her
volunteer.
earlier.
Hey,
Yeah, I love
Cambridge.
working with you
Oh,
guys. If you need anything, let me know.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Now,
And
Ursula Watts, this is my first time on here because I couldn't attend the meeting because I was working during the times y'all had to meet me,
right,
So I'm glad to finally be able to meet, and be in the meeting.
right. And I want you to meet our attorney. Kayla, would you say something?
I'm
Hello?
sorry, y'all. Hi, I'm Michaela Crawford. I'm the staff attorney at the Washington Legal Clinic and one of the attorneys that represents the Brookland Manor, Brentwood Village Tenant Residents Association. Sorry, I'm a little bit flustered right now because I got my kids, but happy to be of any support legally and in any capacity. And I have enjoyed working with the Tenants Association for a few years now. So I'm going to put my phone on mute and my camera off, and I will be paying attention. So if there's any legal questions, just holler my name.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
And then just
Okay, is there anybody else have anything else to say, they want to say before we start?
I would like to add, just so Miss Watts knows, we have an intake number for anything that's going on. So if anything comes up or any of your neighbors have any issues that come up that they want to raise to the residents association, the phone number they can call is, hang on, let me just make sure that I got it right here. The phone number is 202 455.
Would you say 240?
Sorry, I messed that up.
You made it so small. She made it real tiny. She
I know
can't.
I did it, now I did it to myself, Miss Elliott. Usually I make the font too small for Miss Elliott.
I have to get her some more glasses.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm sorry. So the number is 202
Okay.
455
455
8473.
8473. Okay.
And it's like a hotline, so people can leave a message and we'll get back to them.
I
All
think
right.
that we should make a note of that to start passing that out in the neighborhood too. So
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
be able to call if they cannot, get to the meetings, or maybe we can have it where they can use their phones. You know what I'm saying? A lot of ways we're gonna have to do in the near future.
Mhm.
Great. I noted that.
Okay, we've already did that. Okay, the update on the laptops for the kids. We'll do it. We, Ms. Watts, took up names in order to give laptops up for some of the kids and also for some of the seniors. And right now we have a fundraising, which I'll let Beth talk on that part, trying to get them together. Hopefully we'll be able to do it between now and the first of the year. Beth.
Yes. So the laptops, we have 50 kids who we have their names, they need laptops, and we're also trying to find laptops for seniors and other people who don't have them. We've got a fundraiser going, so we can have donors either log on directly to Amazon and buy laptops or contribute money so that we can buy them. And then we also have a partnership with Serve Your City, which is an organization founded and run by Maurice Cook over in Ward 6. And he has committed as well to providing laptops. So it's taken longer than we wanted. We originally had a promise from another organization that they were going to get these to us a couple months ago, and they basically just backed out. And so we're still trying to make it happen, and that's why there's been a delay. But it's gonna happen now. We're in a good spot with it.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna happen.
Yep.
We also have some resident association programs that we're trying to put in place. Ms. Watts, maybe you might know some of the people on the property, since it's kind of hard to walk around. We will have some of the volunteers to be able to knock on the doors and get telephone numbers so they can open up the building, because we have a key, but one key, but it doesn't open all the apartments. And so what we do is we're trying to start another telephone tree to find out what is it that our neighbors need, what can they do to help them. It does not mean that, they're gonna do a lot of things, but we're gonna try to make it available. We have Reverend Washington that picks up bread for us every Saturday between 12:30 and 1. And we have different organizations that give out vegetables and boxes and things like that. We just need to know the names, the telephone numbers of the people that need it, because when the people get ready to deliver them, they try to deliver the ones that can't get out, but the other ones will have to come to pick them up. You know what I'm saying? So those are some of the things that we will be doing. And as it gets colder and the weather worse, we know that a lot of the seniors are not going to be able to get out. So we're going to try to come up with something together, with the residents and also with our volunteers.
Oh, okay.
And
I
also, Miss Watts, can you reach out to your neighbors as well, and kind of let them know about about our meetings, so that just reach out to them and just see if they need anything and stuff of that nature. So and let us know what's going on.
Okay, I will.
And then Beth will, if they're not able to get on, Beth will, they send their email or their number, Beth will try to work with them or some of the other organizations to help them get on. You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh,
I have my granddaughter help me get on. I'm gonna be honest with you, have it. I'm sorry.
oh,
You
That's
know,
true.
I have Karen.
okay.
Karen is
And that's
very,
another reason why we're trying to get those laptops out too, because some of the seniors don't know how to do this
Yeah,
right here, this Zoom and stuff like, and this is going to be the norm. So, you
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
trying to
yeah, they probably wouldn't yet know how to, yeah, get
But
how
this.
once
to
they learn,
interact and stuff.
once they learn though, you won't even be able to get them off. That's the truth.
Look, I'm one of them.
Okay, we have an update on the development. Beth, you want to talk about it, and then you can let Kayla so she can bring it up to date because that should be her part.
Sure. So basically where the redevelopment stands right now. So the original plan at Brookland
Can you
Manor.
talk up a little louder?
Oh yeah, sorry. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the original plan for the development at Brookland Manor was to tear everything down and build up new buildings 3 times as high, so 3 times as much space. But at the same time, Mid City is planning to remove a lot of the family sized units from the property and reduce the affordability of the property. So more than 100 families will not be able to stay if that redevelopment plan goes forward, even though they're building 3 times as many apartments, basically. So that's the reason that the Residents Association has taken this to court. And the Residents Association's position is that they support the redevelopment so long as nobody is displaced. But they have not been able to get in writing anything from Mid City which says people will not be displaced. Mid City likes to say that out loud, but they won't put it in writing.
Yeah. Oh.
And see, another thing I want to put on place, they put it out that the resident association or Miss Elliott is the one that's stopping them from building, but that's not true. What it has happened is that a lot of the seniors and a lot of the people over here in 1 and 2 bedrooms are under the impression that we're only fighting for the family, but that's not true. They have not even made a commitment for anybody in the 1 and the 2 bedrooms to be able to stay. Now, they do have a commitment about the senior building, but in the senior building, there's a lot of things they didn't put in place. Like for instance, whether the seniors would be able to pay utilities or not,
Yeah.
or washroom.
We
They have to walk
affordable.
a long hallway. We felt like they should have wash and dryers in it
Yeah.
because that's what they're doing in new buildings
That's
anyway.
what I was
And
getting ready to say.
and,
Yeah.
and
All
not
the
only
new
that, we also
buildings.
want the affordable parking because once you
Yeah.
build up, you don't have any place and the seniors cannot walk all over the place. See, these are things they got to put in place. They're saying, no, build the buildings and this is it, but they're not looking at it at the real point. Is this a commitment? Do we have it in writing? You know,
Yeah.
and then the young people who are in those property that they're in their 18, 19, and 20, you and I know that they don't even rent apartments to people over 21, 22, 23. So these young people, they're holding up space, but they're gonna put them out also. Young people will
Yeah,
not
because
be
they're
able
not
to
going to
go,
be able to afford it.
right, and young people will not be able to go with their grandparents or nothing because the senior building is 62 and over. You
Yeah.
see? So
You're
see,
not going to be able to have nobody to live with you if you're a senior. They're not even accepting the aides to even live with the resident, with the senior.
exactly. So see, we were trying to make it a win-win where we all could work together, where they could train some of the young men and the women on this property, where they could be a part to help build up the place and help their parents even to be able to purchase, because there will be some places that you'll be able to purchase and everything else.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
where we're pulling
okay.
all together. I don't want them to think that Miss Elliott is the one that's
And
operating.
I'll tell you one thing, when I asked the office, would they let the Office on Aging step in and help them to make sure that the building they were putting up for seniors would be regulated by them, you know, because the Office on Aging can tell them how wide the room should be for
Yes, yes.
wheelchairs and things like that. And they refuse.
Oh.
So see, it's a lot of things that we haven't been able to get out, but everybody need to come to or listen to some of the meetings and find out what.
Yeah, because this is the lot of benefit everybody around here. That
Exactly,
they
exactly.
need to know what's going on.
Right, that's for sure. That's what it is. So
Oh
that's some
man,
of the
'cause
things.
I didn't know that. I didn't know all this was going on.
Well, it is. We've been fighting this and fighting for a long time.
Oh.
Yes, it has definitely been a fight, but we're not backing down. That's for sure.
Mhm.
You know.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And see, like you wouldn't be able to come to like a lot of the meetings and a lot of the rallies and stuff like that. So you really wouldn't know what's going on. So that's
Yeah.
why we're fighting, because you're working, you know,
Mhm.
so somebody has to fight for us. And so we're doing,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, is it possible for you to get Kayla so she can do an update on the legal part, Beth? She said call her name.
Kayla.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yes, I can do a quick update. I mean, there's honestly not much to update on the status of the Court of Appeals case. We're still waiting for the Court of Appeals to hand down a decision on the their decision on the case, and whether or not our issues are valid and should be uh, sent back to the zoning commission, so that the zoning commission will have to go back and reevaluate their decision and provide a more proper analysis, taking into consideration a lot of the things that Ms. Elliott raised and a lot of the things that were raised in the complaint in regards to making sure tenants aren't displaced, making sure that people who are in 4, 5, 3, 2, and 1 bedrooms are able to return, whether they have a voucher, whether they have a subsidized unit, whether they are in a multi-generational family, you know, grandparents taking care of grandchildren and their own children. Everyone who currently resides at the property, no matter what their status is, what their situation is, should be able to return. And there needs to be very clear language in the zoning commission's order to protect tenants at the property in order for the redevelopment plan to move forward. And that's what our hope is. We're literally just in limbo waiting for the DC Court of Appeals to respond. And so that's the status of the Court of Appeals case that we filed in Miss Elliott's name. It's in Miss Elliott's name, but it's in Miss Elliott's name because Miss Elliott is one of the prime examples of a tenant who has potential to be displaced. She represents the many other tenants on the property who have similar situations. We filed it in Miss Elliott's name simply because there are some people on the property that are associated with Mid-City that have been trying to disrupt a lot of the things that the Tenants Association has been fighting for in order to protect the community. And that's why we decided to put it in Miss Elliott's name to protect the Tenants Association, which didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to. And so that's the status of the Court of Appeals case. And that was kind of a segue for me to go into some other legal issues that have recently come up regarding the redevelopment. So as I was saying, there are people on the property, and when I say people, tenants that are associated with Mid-City and the leadership in Mid-City, who for the past, ever since we filed the Court of Appeals, ever since we filed the appeal to the redevelopment plan, have been working to disrupt the fight. And they've been threatening to sue the tenants association for their role in filing the appeal for the past couple years. But I will say this past year, they've been very active. I don't know if you are familiar with Thaddeus. I'm at a loss for his last name right now. Thaddeus and Brenda Morning are the named plaintiffs in the lawsuits, and they have sued the the Residents Association, Miss Elliott in her individual capacity, one of the other attorneys on the case, Will Merrifield, the Washington Legal Clinic, which is the organization that I work for, 1DC, which was the former organizers at the property, and Yasmina Marabey, who was the lead organizer for 1DC, and Link Up, which is an organization that when Yasmina, the former organizer who worked at 1DC, left, she started Link Up. So they've sued all of the named parties that I just named in a lawsuit. They filed it in November, in early November. And so the status of that is, one, we currently have a secured counsel for Miss Elliott and the Residents Association. And we are working on securing counsel for the rest of the defendants. We have a strong legal support team that will represent us in this lawsuit. And I'll just and let me just say off the top, the lawsuit is there's no legitimate claims in this lawsuit. It's based in lies, and it's literally just, their efforts to continue to try to disrupt all of the hard work that tenants have been mobilizing and doing over the past few years. And to me, this represents their fear that you all have a lot of power, and that you all are in a position to really, get what you all deserve out of this whole situation, and force them to reconsider this redevelopment plan and making sure that the people who are currently on the property are protected. So I said a lot, and I don't want to get into all of the details of the lawsuit, because ultimately they're baseless claims. And I just want to make sure that tenants are not worried about this extra lawsuit, because it's not going to affect the fight and what the Tenants Association has been working towards and fighting for over the last few years. We are going to handle this lawsuit, and we're going to, and that's kind of in the background, but we're going to focus all of our attention on what the Tenants Association's goals are, and making sure that they are able to provide whatever is needed at the property for all of the tenants there, for the seniors, for the parents, the children, and that's what we're going to focus on. We're not going to let this lawsuit by Thaddeus and Brenda interfere with that, because that's what they want. They want us to get frustrated. They want us to back down, and that's not what we're going to do. The board members and the rest of the tenants, we might not have a lot of people on the call right now, but we know why. That's because of COVID and, adjusting to this new platform. It's going to take some time, but we know that the majority of the people, they support this fight. So that's the legal update for me. So if y'all have any questions, please just let me know.
Okay. Okay. I'm leaving it open for you all to discuss anything you like.
I know one of the things that Beth had also asked me to kind of touch on is the eviction moratorium in DC, because that may affect some tenants. And just in general, the eviction moratorium in DC has been extended. It was extended a while ago to December 31st. And that is because that's because the public health, I'm sorry, y'all. The public health
It's okay.
the public health emergency ends December 31st, but there's a strong likelihood that the council is going to extend that. So if that's extended, the expectation is that the eviction moratorium will be extended. And the eviction moratorium is just saying that no evictions can be filed while there's a emergency public health situation going on. I don't focus on landlord tenant and eviction cases, but we work with other organizations that do practice in that area. So if you know any tenants who have concerns about evictions, they're more than welcome to reach out to me. And Miss Elliott has my information, so they can always be connected to me if they have questions about evictions or anything in that related to that.
Okay. Is there
Oh,
any-
and sorry, one last thing too. And this is related to the evictions. The mayor recently put out information about a $10 million fund that will go to help with these evictions. That $10 million fund that she recently spoke about it goes to pay back rent for some of the back rent for tenants in the arrears since the pandemic started. And however, that pot of money is not a pot of money for tenants to directly reach out to and get the funds to pay their rent. That fund is for landlords to reach out to get those funds to cover the rents of tenants. They would do it on behalf of the tenant. Now, regarding money that tenants can go and apply for on their own, there are still funds available through your regular, I don't know if you know, but there's always the ERAP services, the Emergency Rent Assistance Program, that tenants can reach out to if they have an actual eviction filed. Then they normally would be able to go show that eviction filing to the programs that, and it's usually like Catholic Charities and other community-based organizations. They would be able to just show that eviction and get whatever that amount is, and you can do it once every year. But they issued additional funding related to COVID, that you don't have to have an eviction on the books. I think you just need to be behind in your rent and you can get rent to help. But the back rent that you can get to help for the COVID money is only rent that you've been behind since, like, I think April 2020 during COVID. The regular ERAP money that would apply to money in the arrears prior to the COVID, prior to the pandemic. I'm not sure how they're actually addressing that. And that's why I said, if people want more information on that, I can connect them to our landlord tenant attorneys that we work with, because it's not my specialty. So I just wanted to put out the information that there is money available if you know people who are behind in rent and would like some assistance with that. Okay, that's my update.
We're gonna try to give out telephone numbers and things so people can call, even if they don't get on the, visit our resident association meetings. Ms. Johnson, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, you know what? That $10 million fund that you were talking about, that goes to the landlords to help pay the rent of the tenants. Is anybody monitoring that?
I just heard about this program, so I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I hope so, because I agree that the oversight should be extremely important, because we know how some tenants are in this area.
And
You
we
know, there's
also know how some landlords are.
I mean, I didn't even mean it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say tenants. I meant to say, we know how some landlords are in this
Yeah.
area. They try to take advantage of tenants and, you know, programs that are supposed to help
Take the
tenants.
money and
So
still take the money and
take the
still
money
evict
and
And
still,
still
exactly,
evict the people, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I
was,
can't really answer that question concretely for you at the moment, but because it's
uh-huh.
so new, they haven't put out that much information about the program, and we all
Okay.
know just historically DC doesn't do a good job of oversight with stuff
I
like
know
this.
they do.
So that's a very valid question.
So
And we should.
would the Attorney General's office know?
Yes, I
Anybody in
think
the Attorney
we
General's
could,
office?
we could ask, maybe they could give us some information on that. But he's so busy doing other things, so I don't know
I
what
know,
it is.
he sure is.
Well, this came from the executive. So I'm not sure, the executive meaning from the, you know, the people under the mayor, which is an independent, I mean, the Office of the Attorney General is an independent agency from the mayor. So they don't really deal so much with landlord tenant stuff and eviction stuff. That's why I said there are, you know, other legal organizations that absolutely focus on this work, and they would be the best people to ask
Well, we
about
could
that.
check on that. We could just
But what,
check on them near
but
future.
wouldn't he be observant of fraudulent behavior?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Money is
through
being out?
the consumer protection stuff, yes,
Yeah,
for
I mean,
things like,
this could be some really something that could cause that would be money that could be used for other things
Yeah.
similar to what the president is doing, you know.
Well, he might not have time because he's going after the president's his
Well, he
organization,
got other people
going
in
after
his
the
office.
president's daughter now. So that's
I
gonna be a
know.
big
Yeah,
thing.
well, he may need to go after some folks in the mayor's office.
Yeah, well,
well, I
that
mean, currently there hasn't been any suspect you know, dealings regarding the program. Like, it literally, they just put this program out Monday.
Put it
So
out.
there's nothing suspect going on
but
now.
it's organizations that will have some type of information on this. Maybe we could check further later on, you know.
Absolutely. And I mean, those are your typical organizations that do the landlord tenant work, which is like Bread for the City, Legal Aid Society, Neighborhood Legal Services. They kind of have created a eviction task force during the COVID time. So they are kind of like your go-to. They created like a task force where they work jointly with each other to provide services to tenants who are having issues with evictions and other landlord tenant related issues. So I keep tabs with them. You know, I already told you guys that I will be out the rest of this month, but
Right.
they're nothing
When are you
like there
officially
shouldn't,
off? When are
huh?
you officially off?
Tomorrow will be my last day, and I come back the beginning of January.
So Friday.
But if, like I said, if there's emergency stuff, like, you all know how to reach me, and I can still connect you all to those services, and I'll make sure to just get a list of that stuff to Beth as well, so that they can go ahead and get that information, you know, on the website or whatever central location, so tenants can have access to that information.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
I tell you, somebody that do keep up with it is Locke. Because we were almost over there with Nita Barnes over there giving her some papers at her house. I didn't even know she
Protest at her house.
I didn't even know she lived on Bates Street. That used to be my stumping ground. I know a lot of
I
people.
know. I didn't. You talking about Anita Bond?
Yeah,
The protest.
Yvonne's friend. Yvonne's friend.
No, don't call him Nita Barnes my
Used to
friend.
be her neighbor. Used to be her
But
neighbor.
but you know what? That protest that they had, and she had the nerve to call the police and tell them that she didn't want them out there protesting. And of course, the police told her that it wasn't illegal for them to protest, you know, and I don't know what she thought was happening.
I don't know what she's talking about up there by Hanover Street and those places anyway. She,
Talking
I
about they
mean,
was
I don't know
bothering
why
her.
she thought you can't protest. But then too, you have to remember, and I always try to say to the people that live over here, Anita Barnes used to live here. She used to live here. When she didn't have anything and she had her daughter, she lived here. But she
Right
forgot
here,
about
Brooklyn
that.
Manor.
All of a sudden, it slipped her mind, you know.
Well,
That's
She
what these
didn't feel she
titles
couldn't do
do.
anything to help the people.
That's what those titles do to people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I just want Miss Ward to know because it's a lot going on. So your neighbors, let them know what's going on. The true thing, we're gonna try to keep you informed. We need a television phone tree so that we'll be able to call and also maybe even type up something to give the information once we have meetings to people to keep them updated. You know what I'm saying? Because really when you don't know anything and everything else, it kind of puts you in the dark, and you listen to both.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
the way that this group, I can't even think of their name, called People of Changes, they are saying that most people at Brookland Manor are members of their organization. Most people don't even know them. And they don't even know Thaddeus, and they don't know Morning. They don't even know him.
That is.
So what we're gonna do, well, I never knew his name, and I
Yeah.
refuse to call the right name. But anyway,
yeah.
what I'm saying to you is that we're gonna need letters stating that and updating people to let them know they are members of the resident association.
Right.
So that we wasn't having meetings and that we was charging people dues. We never charged anybody
Never,
dues in
never,
over,
ever.
in over 20 years. And not only that, the people were kind enough to let us have meetings at one of their places on Evart, which is in walking distance. And a lot of people from Brookland Manor used to come over there. They enjoyed themselves and they met people in the neighborhood and everything else. So and in fact, him and Morning had been to our meeting. They had another lawyer then, but
Yeah.
this is Mid City backing them. This is part of Mid City mischievous stuff. This is what is going on. So I think what we need to later on, like I say, is update the resident association people who are members. You know what I'm saying? Let them sign things, let them know that they are members of it. We just need to update it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So is there anything anybody else have to say or do? Because if not, we can find out how do we come up a way, how do people how do people want to be contacted? Can you give some suggestions how we can go about doing this? Don't know everybody talk at one time.
Let me, I'll take a crack at it. Miss Watts, how did you hear about the meeting tonight?
Someone called me on my house phone.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I know since I'm out of work because of the COVID now, I
Right.
thought I could finally, do the meeting because I've been wanting to do it ever since they moved me from over there and then tore them buildings down. So
Right.
I was wondering what took so long, and because they claim when I move here, you'll be moving back soon. They're going to build so fast, and I had no idea what was really going on. So I was wondering what's taking so long. So I said, okay, I'm finally be able to attend the meetings.
Right.
So,
Well,
so Miss
So I got a
Miss
phone
Watts,
call.
Where did you used to live at? Where did you live at first?
I was up here, right here on the corner up here. What was that? 1430 up there on the corner where I was at the beginning, if I can remember the address. It was right here, and they tore it down at the beginning of Saratoga right here.
Oh, you
yeah,
up there
Now
by
they
Brentwood
moved me
on
Road.
the
down
corner.
in 2505 now.
Um,
Now I might not remember the address up there because it's been like 2-3 years
no,
now.
3 years. 3 years.
Then
So
Yeah,
years
about
to be
3
exact.
years, and I can't quite remember the address. But I was right in the beginning, I'm on Saratoga, right there,
right,
that
right,
first
right.
set of apartments. Yeah, now they moved me down here, and I was a 3-bedroom. So I'm in a
Okay.
3-bedroom now at 2505.
Oh, okay, right up, okay, right up the street, right up.
2505, you
Uh,
at
14th
2505
Street.
14th
Yeah,
Street,
Yeah.
right across from you,
right across the
right
street
across from
from
you,
me.
yeah,
Okay.
you 25, you
Yeah, I'm
2500,
20.
and she 2505, so she's across the street.
Yeah, she's
Mhm.
directly across the street from me on
Right,
Saratoga.
right. And see, a lot of people don't
Mine's
know anything.
14th Street. 14th Street.
But she on,
2505
no, but
14th.
she
Yeah,
on,
I'm on 14th Street
she on
too.
14th Street
Oh,
too.
okay.
You know, the
Oh,
old
okay.
used to be the
Shit.
You in a
rental office.
3-bedroom. Are you
Yeah.
up on the hill?
No.
No, she right across the street from you. You know, right across the street is 2500. Across the street is 2502. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
25. I
So
mean,
she in 2502 now.
no, but you even numbers and
I'm
Yeah.
across the
2505.
street. Oh, five.
25.
So she's
Oh
up the street,
yeah.
across the street, up the street.
Yeah, she's right there on the bench.
Yeah, right there,
Right.
just before you make the
Yes,
turn.
yes.
That apartment
Right,
right
Yeah.
there, before you
right.
make that turn around there.
You
Yeah,
right
yeah.
at the bench. I
Mhm.
know
Yeah.
exactly where you are.
So what we
And I'm
Yeah.
right on the corner. I'm in the old rental office building.
Oh, okay. I
see
don't
what
know
we
where the old rental.
see what we got to do is that we got to get together. You
Mm.
understand? Some type of way. Maybe we could even set up meetings and get other people involved to meet each other if they don't want to come out. But we really need to get to know each other and know each other's needs. That's for
Yeah,
us.
absolutely. And the reason why I asked her about where about on 14th Street, because I know if you came from block 7, then you had to have a 3 or 4 bedroom. With that being
Mhm.
said, they have really, really took you from a place you call home and you just a piece of paper floating around the property now.
Yeah.
This your second move?
Well, this is
This
my
was
fourth.
my
Well,
first. They didn't move me no more. They just moved me one time down here.
well, they moved me 3 times. I was at
Oh.
1345 where they had the collaborative. And then from the collaborative, they moved me up the street, 1305. And then before the year was up, they moved me down 1320. So,
Oh,
And which they
dang.
said that when they first started the redevelopment, they said that it was going to be a 1, 2, 3 effect. So you would only be moved 3 times. And here it is, Miss Elliott getting ready to be moved the 4th time. If and when, yeah, so
Oh.
that just goes to show you that they're not telling us the truth. And then not only that, our maintenance has went downhill. We got like 3 people working this whole property.
and a
Oh.
couple of people have resigned, and some of them have been fired, like Otto. He's been fired and everything
Oh.
else. And the African fella, he retired. He
Uh,
just
yeah.
he resigned. So you don't have
That's why they told me certain things they wouldn't be able to fix because they said because of COVID. They not
Well,
coming
they
in and fix.
using COVID in their favor, but the reality is we don't have any maintenance.
and
Don't
Tony,
have nobody.
you only have people that really know anything. Is Antonio and James. Carlos is not even a person that know everything. So you have
Mm.
limited amount of people that work here, and even in the office, they don't even have the same people working down there in the office.
I think
Oh.
it's like 1 or 2 people in the office
Yeah,
now.
it is 3, and it's gonna
Oh.
get worse. It's gonna get worse, believe it or not.
Mm.
If we don't get on top of this, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
That's where the resident association come into play. We're gonna have to start writing letters, and we're gonna have to start becoming really involved. So that's why I say
Yeah.
we need to get numbers and names and updates with the people that live on the property.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
also, I just want to say that everything, when it comes down to the residents, because I know a lot of residents don't know what's going on, that, any information that's given to us is confidential.
Mm. Oh, okay.
So what I'm trying to say is we won't use your name and throw your name and stuff like that because, we're not afraid. We already going through it with them. So we're gonna fight for everybody.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's a
Oh,
win-win for
okay.
everybody. The ones that don't want to be with us or the ones that's with us. It's a win-win for everyone. You know.
Everybody, that's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Well,
sorry, I
anyway,
got lost.
okay, don't worry, because we just gonna just about close anyway. I
Okay.
Yeah.
just wanted to, you know, thank everybody for attending, and we might have another meeting sometime within the middle of the month if something special come up. You know what I'm saying, with the
Mm.
volunteers and the people that's giving anything, and that's one way of meeting people. We might touch bases again, but in the meantime, um, I'm gonna say stay well, stay strong,
Mm.
Hey,
and look up. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Be safe.
Yeah, be
All
safe.
right. I will be at the
And
next
and
one. They
Miss
just give
Watts,
me a
Miss Watts,
call.
if you need me, I'm at 1320, first floor, apartment 1.
Okay.
Okay.
13.
My telephone number is two.
Miss Minnie, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what everybody called Miss Minnie or Miss Minnie.
1320.
Um,
1320 what now?
Saratoga, right on the
Thir-
corner,
Oh, okay.
apartment 1. My telephone number is 202
Uh-huh.
299
299
6647.
6647.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
So I'm going to, Beth, do you want to say a few words, Yvonne or Ms. Bronson, before we close? I know Kayla.
No, it's just was a pleasure having Miss Watts, you know, because it's been a long time since we've been interacting with
It's a
our
start.
residents,
Yes,
and
it's
we
a start.
missed you all very much.
Okay.
It's a
Thank
start.
And
y'all.
thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
We really
Yeah, it was
appreciate you.
interesting. I did learn a lot. I didn't know all this was going on. So
But if you
I
have
will
any friends
say,
or neighbors, if you have any friends or neighbors, just bring them up to power forward. You know,
I sure will. I sure will.
And the only last thing I'll say, other than it was very nice to meet you, thanks for joining, um,
All right.
is I know that people are frustrated about the delay, and
Mm-hmm.
the Residents Association has been trying to negotiate with Mid City in order to get the project moving forward so that nobody is displaced. But Mid City has repeatedly refused to share any information about how many people actually live here.
Oh.
If they say how many people live here and the plan doesn't include them right now, then they won't be able to say that they're not displacing people publicly. And there's no way to negotiate if we don't know how many people live here because nobody wants to agree to something that's going to displace people. That's what this whole thing is about. So anyway,
Yeah.
they're the holdup, and it's very frustrating. So I just wanted to say that piece.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
so I'm gonna say good night to everyone.
good
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 night.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good
Good
night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Until the
Good
next
night.
time. Night night.
Okay.